They're just making jokes because Joey has gone through a lot. Somewhere he just said, "Fuck, I'm going to shave my head." You know that's what he said.
Kenny Wallace just shook the NASCAR world with a blistering message aimed straight at the people who love to hate Joey Logano. In a moment that stunned fans across the sport, Wallace stepped forward and said what almost no one else has dared to say. Logano has long carried the reputation of NASCAR's most disliked star, a role he's handled with calm confidence for years. But Wallace's fierce public defense has flipped the conversation, forcing fans and insiders to rethink how they view Logano and the culture surrounding him. And now, the debate is louder than ever.
Hey, I got a bunch of text messages and DMs lately about my new haircut. And a lot of people concerned if I was okay. First off, I appreciate everyone asking if I was okay. I am fine. I am perfectly healthy. Just wanted to get a haircut at the end of the season. And I have alopecia, which I've had for a long time now. And so when we're cutting it, it's all flared up, and so it's all spotty. And so we just kept cutting it. And now I got a new do. And so I'm good. Like I said, appreciate everyone caring. Didn't think it would be this big of a story, but after getting so many text messages, I felt like I probably should let everyone know I'm all right. So that's all this is.
The fallout began when a video surfaced showing Logano during a public appearance in Huntersville, North Carolina, launching a $255 million mixed-use development called Town One, sporting a newly shaved head. The reasoning was simple. Logano has dealt with alopecia, and rather than hide it any longer, he chose to shave it off. He clarified, "I've dealt with alopecia for years. The condition flared up, so I just kept shaving until it was complete." While some expressed concern or admiration, a vocal segment of fans lobbed mocking comments. Enter Kenny Wallace, no longer just a voice in the booth, but a defender ready to call out what he saw as harmful attacks. In a YouTube instant reaction video, he didn't mince words. There's a lot of people that are insecure, and they're poking fun at him. Joey was part of the men's hair club. He was wearing a toupee for a little bit.
Now he's bald. And of course, there's a lot of people that are insecure and they're poking fun at him. And they're just making jokes because Joey has gone through a lot. Joey was part of the men's hair club. You know, he was wearing a toupee for a little bit.
Wallace then assumed Logano reached a point of saying, "Fuck it, I'm going to shave my head."
Somewhere he just said, "Fuck, I'm going to shave my head." You know
Wallace concluded sharply, "At least he doesn't smell. At least his breath doesn't stink. Most of the people that talk shot, they themselves look like shot because they got weak esteem."
At least he doesn't smell. At least his breath doesn't stink and he's got nice teeth. You know the reason I'm saying all that? Most of the people that talk shit, they themselves look like shit because they got weak esteem.
His target was less the driver's performance and more the culture of mass mocking, and it left NASCAR fans reeling. To understand why this matters, you need the full context of Joey Logano's place in the sport. Here's a competitor who unapologetically told the Donut Media podcast, "I don't let it bother me, to be honest with you. I have such a different personality on track than I do off track. And so I kind of understand why I get booed, but they're booing the person who's driving the car, not the person that's out of the car."
I don't let it bother me.
That's great.
To be honest with you. And I have such a different personality on track than I do off track. And so I kind of understand why, like, to be honest with you, I'm probably not the most liked guy. I could tell when I get introduced that I get booed, but I also got a lot of people that cheer for me. But I understand that they're booing the person that's driving the car, not the person that's out of the car.
His ability to separate the helmeted persona from the human being beneath is part of what frustrates some fans, but fuels his results. Logano's on-track persona is sharp, relentless, and unforgiving. He's publicly admitted to being, in his words, selfish when he races, not as a disparaging label, but as a professional identity, the textbook villain. Yet, off the track, he's a radically different man. Father, entrepreneur, philanthropist. His involvement in Town One, the Huntersville development, shows a long-game vision far beyond lapping competitors. He called the land, originally just a place all about fun. Now it's going to be a place where you'll be able to live, work, play, eat, and have a good time in just a different way. He also pledged $500,000 toward affordable housing for foster families, offering proof his legacy isn't confined to the racetrack. Despite those undertakings, the boos keep coming. Why? One reason, Logano unapologetically supports the win-and-in playoff structure, where one victory locks a driver into championship contention, regardless of season-long consistency. That stance, combined with his villain upbringing, some recall his 2015 Kansas spin on Matt Kenseth that triggered a feud, and his rapid ascent to championships despite criticism, fuels resentment among some fans who feel the sport's spirit has shifted. Kenny Wallace's defense touches every one of those fault lines. By defending Logano's appearance and character, Wallace is essentially calling out a fan culture that mocks a driver for his personal traits while celebrating him, or at least tolerating him, as a competitor. Wallace also praised Logano's mental resilience. As another industry veteran, Kevin Harvick observed, "I think just being able to control that mentally and being able to deal with that mentally is something not a lot of people can do well, so he does that part better than most." Supporting Logano for handling fan backlash is not just a protective gesture, it's a statement about what counts in racing: focus, resilience, performance. This sparks a bigger conversation. When does fandom cross into toxicity? Wallace argued that many mockers got weak esteem. He pointed out the irony of people hiding under screen names, mocking a public figure building a real legacy. For NASCAR, a sport rooted in community, grit, and working-class roots, the idea of tearing down a driver for personal traits hits a cultural sore point. Logano is unique in how he carries it. He said, "I value respect from my peers, my crew, and my family more than popularity. That mindset separates genuine competitive identity from the hollow applause of fans." Popular drivers bask in every cheer. Logano views boos as a fuel. When he stood in the playoffs after beating Ross Chastain and proclaimed, "We're still in, we're still alive, baby," the jeers around him didn't faze him. They arguably motivated him. For younger drivers, this sets precedent. You can let fans boo you. You can let your reputation precede you. But you don't have to accept personal mockery, especially when it's tied to things beyond your control. Wallace's blunt statement that the insults often come from people that trick themselves into criticizing instead of creating underscores that perspective. We're witnessing a moment where the sport isn't just about what happens on the track, it's also about how the fans respond off it. The real heroes in racing aren't just those who win, they're those who stay human amidst the noise. Logano might always be polarizing, maybe even resentful to some, but through all of it, he hasn't lost sight of who he is. Wallace's defense acknowledges that, and in doing so, throws shade not just at the critics, but at the culture of criticism itself. Because at the speed these cars hit, and the heat the drivers endure, the strongest thing they bring isn't just horsepower, it's heart. And that's what Kenny Wallace defended. That's what Joey Logano kept.